Tired from a day of travel and sightseeing, you decide to sit down, late at night, at a Chilean street corner. A man begins to serenade anyone who listens with a traditional folk song. The strumming of his acoustic guitar strings and his offbeat voice provide a sense of rawness and authenticity to the nightlife, and you begin to feel a sense of pleasure and fulfillment as his volume progresses. You've never seen this song on the Billboard Top 100, nor have you seen this artist grace the cover of any CD, and yet his music captures your spirit more than any other song you have ever heard. He has provided a perceptual experience of ambiguous satisfaction, a temporary moment of utter enjoyment in existence. You exclaim that that's beautiful. Beauty, a mysterious concept, and yet you know it when it greets you with its prettiness. What is it? First, we must attempt to understand whether beauty is something that is objective or subjective. The ancients heavily believed that the math of the aesthetics was the way to go when trying to determine beauty, and that this strange sense of ambiguity could also be reasoned, thus showing that beauty is an objective entity. Plato used his idea of forms to present the case that beauty is a form itself. This idea of forms is a hypothetical world inhabited with ideal forms, such as the ideal form of a chair, the ideal form of a dog, or the ideal form of, although hard to believe, the McRib. These ideal forms provide imperfect replications of themselves to our world, according to Plato. We all know what makes a certain structure of substance a bowl because we can identify the quality bowliness in an object. Yet there are many different forms of bowls, which Plato would consider to be replications of the one true bowl that exists in the ideal world. Thus, Plato considers there to be an actual form of ideal beauty, and that beautiful things that exist in our world are imperfect replications of this, and this is why we can recognize beauty, but may find it difficult to explain its properties. Plato has observed that we can easily recognize individual instances of beauty, but not beauty itself. Humanity, as Plato feels, should as a whole be able to recognize beauty as its ideal form exists in the same way as the perfect form of a bowl. Plato further provides significance and importance to beauty, arguing that the reason why we find things beautiful is because these objects hold truth within them. To understand why we are drawn to a person or a piece of furniture is to piece together the puzzle of beauty itself. But you know that a universal definition of beauty is silly. You may immediately sputter that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as this is, after all, a logical response. David Hume suggests that beauty is no quality in things themselves. It exists merely in the mind which contemplates them, and each mind perceives a different beauty. This is a commonly held view that exists in various arguments of who's hotter, Kim or Kate, and whether or not someone should buy real estate on the French Alps or the French Riviera. To believe in total subjectivity in regards to beauty is to also, as Immanuel Kant suggests, to forget about the social habits of the human mind. Kant agrees that there is no certain aesthetic or design in which to create something beautiful, but he does find it interesting that we declare what is beautiful as if it is a universal property. We are angered or dumbfounded if someone does not agree that the nose of a certain woman is beautiful, and we begin arguments over this concept of beauty which Kant agrees is not supposed to be universally recognized in the first place. There also exists the nicest conclusion to this argument, showing that beauty is a kind of intersubjective field of identification. Some things, such as a muddy Iron Maiden shirt adorned by a pale, sickly teenager, may not be considered beautiful by the whole of society, but this image may bring you back to subconscious nostalgia, to the brief time when you were an angsty teen and the world was so big. Other things have a sense of beauty that I'd argue cannot be denied by a sane individual, such as the beauty of a sunset, or the twinkling of the stars, or David Hasselhoff. There is a subjective beauty and objective beauty, but which one do we follow, and why does it matter? Well, there is the objective beauty of pop culture, a romantic plethora of exotic images that are defined as sexiest whatever in the world and make your life feel gray and dull by comparison. This is a false sense of beauty, functioning to give money to a select group of individuals by treating others with crude images of grandeur and sublimity. These are, according to media, worthy of being labeled beautiful, and not the taste of your grandma's cookies or the laugh of your partner. Don't follow this system of false beauty. Create one of your own. Each day, from rise to rest, observe and remember the things you find beautiful. The smile of a cashier, the singing of birds, the architecture of a bridge. Before you sleep, quickly jot down these small moments of loveliness into a notebook and attempt to describe exactly what is it that makes these things beautiful. Through this, you will realize the beauty that lies within the normalcy of your life. One day, you may even piece together the truth of beauty that Plato speaks of. If not, you will still gain the ability to create something else, something that will, for a brief moment in time, cause a stranger to whisper, "That's beautiful." Para matar al que lucha es la misma bala loca.